Welcome to episode 87 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can build beautiful, high-quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. This week I have an update for you on my own personal project, and it's good news. So if you haven't heard about the woes and worries that I had of trying to find a building designer, take a listen to episode 79 called My House Plans, Back to the Drawing Board, and you'll hear all of the trouble that I had. But since then, I've made progress. I found someone to help me, and I've also found some software that helped me mark up my PDF of my sketches that might be helpful to you. Let me tell you about that part first. It's software called Bluebeam, Bluebeam, at bluebeam.com. Now, it's very expensive software. I think it costs thousands of dollars, but they have a free 30-day trial. And it's used by architects and building designers, and I think even contractors, to tweak floor plans and house plans that they have. And so what I did was I uploaded my sketches into that program. And they have a red markup tool that allows you to put red marks over your existing PDF to see how it would look to expand rooms or make them smaller or move them around a little bit. And then it also has a measuring tool that you can put the scale in and then see what size your rooms would be. And there are tons of other elements of that software that I couldn't even understand. But those are the main two things that I needed. I needed that markup tool and I needed a measuring tool. If you are technologically savvy, I am not, but if you are, there are other things in that program that could be helpful to you to play with your floor plan. So what happened was I marked up my floor plan and I saved it. And a little tip is to also do a screenshot, because a couple of times I tried to save the floor plan in the program and it didn't work. So I lost the work that I had. So from then on, I always took a screenshot and attempted to save it. So that was the first part of my progress, finding that software and tweaking my plans a little bit. The second part was that I called my friend's husband. She's actually a colleague. I work with her, and I know that her husband is an architect. And we have talked several times over the years at Christmas parties and just at dinners and different social events. And I know him to be a really easygoing, easy to talk to guy. So I felt confident that we would communicate well together. And he had been doing architecture for a while. He is a licensed architect who had been mainly doing commercial work. Now, he has had some experience with residential projects, but in the most recent years here, he has been doing commercial work. But his interest lies, and his heart really lies, in doing houses, doing residential projects. So a few weeks before I called him, he quit his commercial job. And he was taking some time off to just rejuvenate himself and refresh himself and to travel a little bit. And then he wanted to get back into architecture, but doing residential work. And so I talked to him on, I think, maybe a Friday. We met the following Tuesday. And then that Monday, he had planned on starting his residential projects. So the timing was perfect. He had planned on starting work the week after I spoke to him. I just felt like that was meant to be. So I emailed him my sketches and my pictures and my ideas. And as you can imagine, I was kind of nervous because that's the point that I got to with the other building designers. And then I didn't hear any more from them. So I emailed him all of my files, and I also sent him a little note saying, if you have taken a look at this and you feel like this really isn't the project for you, or you're not really interested, just let me know and I'll move on. But not only did he say he was interested, he said he was excited. So he started immediately working on that project, and he got me some options. Maybe 2 days later, he's been extremely responsive. He communicates with me that he will go out of town or that he will get me something by Thursday. He just is super responsive. And I love that. The other thing that I love about him, and you should try to get this if you can, is get someone who will give you options. So he doesn't just email me one floor plan or one elevation. And you probably know the elevation is the way the house looks on the outside. He doesn't just email me one. He gives me 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 options to look at and to decide upon. And for me, that's really helpful because I am visual, and seeing those things helps me make a decision. So, I really feel like this whole thing is meant to be. He's easy to talk to, easy to work with. He gives me options. It's really been ideal, and the timing was perfect. One thing did come up though, and I knew that this would come up at some point, but I want to let you know how I handled it. I don't really think of myself as a people pleaser, but I don't like to hurt people's feelings. And so one time he sent me options, and he told me, take a look at these options. My favorite option is option D. I really love it. This is the one that I think is the best. And I looked at it and I liked option D, but it really wasn't my favorite. So I also let my husband look at the options, and we both came to the same conclusion that D was fine, but it wasn't our favorite. Our favorite was actually his least favorite option. So I felt, I don't know, a little bit nervous, a little bit bad about actually telling him, I know you love D, but we prefer option A, and here's why. Now, you may say that he's the designer. He has the most experience and the most education with designing houses. And I agree with that. But my husband and I, we have to live in the house and we have to pay for the house. And unless there is a reason why, as far as safety or lack of flow or just some big overriding huge reason that we shouldn't choose option A, I think that we should choose the option that's best for us. And that's what we did. And so I just said, I want you to be proud of the house and I want you to like it. But my husband and I really like option A best. And he emailed me back and said, it's all good. It's your house. You should do what you think is best. So I tell you all that just to tell you, don't be afraid to choose the option that you think is best for your family and for your lifestyle and for your budget, even if your designer or architect likes something better. My other big takeaway from all of this is that I guess I'm kind of naive, or I was kind of naive in thinking that I would get everything exactly the way that I wanted 100% of the time. And that hasn't been the case. Even though you're building a custom home and you'll have it built to your specifications, probably 95% of the time, there are some times when you'll have to compromise, even with a custom built home. And that might be because of budget, or it might be because of your lot shape or the size of your lot, or rules that have been formed by your homeowners association, or even building code. So even though with a custom built home, you'll probably be closer than ever to getting your perfect house, there will be some compromises. So just kind of get your mind ready for that. And they may not be big compromises. Like the compromises I've had to make have been smaller ones, but still they're compromises. All in all, it has been a fantastic experience so far. And I'm not near the end. I think we're probably 2/3 of the way through designing the house. There's a lot more back and forth than I thought that there would be. And he's super responsive and super quick to respond. He just said that that's normal. That's just a normal part of it. I actually talked to a friend who had her house recently built, and she said that she went back and forth with her designer 18 times. 18 times. And she, like me, already had sort of a general sketch of what she needed. And even still, with that, she went back and forth 18 times with her architect. So just get ready for that. It doesn't mean that you're wrong or that he's wrong or that you're slow or he's slow. It's just trying to get the right layout for your house. It takes time. So that's it. I'm so grateful for the support that you guys have given me, and I'm so grateful for this experience. I've learned a lot and continue to learn, and I will continue to share with you what I've learned through the journey in hopes that you will be a little bit less frustrated than I have been, even though I haven't been all that frustrated except with the building designer situation. It's really been kind of fun. So that's all I have for this week. I hope you'll join me again next week for the next episode of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.